All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And this is going to be interesting because Michael Keaton came out earlier today and made comments about the canceled Batgirl movie. And we're going to see exactly what he said. But we do have a couple of other photos to look at before we get to that story specifically. So let's jump right in. Now, I would like everybody who has been with me on this journey, and I am looking to get to 20,000 subs by the end of the year, and I can only do that with your help. So if you're a regular viewer and you haven't taken the time yet, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will be notified when new videos go up, and take time to like the videos as well. That helps the videos reach a wider audience here on YouTube, especially liking the videos when you do watch them. All right, guys, with that said, let's jump in. So this is one of my viewers who I was talking about Creature Commandos and how James Gunn will not portray them the right way. And somebody who has direct knowledge of Creature Commandos came out and said, I have read those Creature Commandos comics, and they're not that funny and goofy. Actually, their story is pretty good, but the tone is not goofy. They have some fun moments. So what that tells me is that this is going to be completely different from what James Gunn is going to do. If this is on the same level as Peacemaker, it's not going to work. But again, James Gunn is a one-trick pony. Okay, he just is. It's very evident in everything that he does. He's goofy, he's silly, he's juvenile. It's just what he does. Now, this person, I didn't go to read this article, but a lot of people sent this to me. Brad Curran said, okay, I have a feeling this is going to sound a lot like a hot take, but hear me out. Suddenly, sell Snyderverse to Netflix is looking like a great idea. Now, I didn't actually read this. It's from fortressofsolitude.co.za. My guess is that it's going to go along the lines, and if somebody who's read this could tell me, is that Warner Brothers is in trouble. They need money. And one way they can get themselves out of debt is by selling some of their IPs to other distributors like Netflix. And there's no reason why they couldn't sell this off to be revived somewhere else and make money off of it while still retaining the rights to the DC characters. It can happen. It's a fact. And Warner Brothers is currently licensing out a lot of their properties. So this could be a very viable opportunity to do this. But based on some comments that James Gunn made, I don't think they're going to be doing too many Elseworlds movies, and we'll be talking about that here in one of the photos we're going to be looking at. So it says, production on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow has reportedly been delayed. The film is now expected to start shooting January of 2025 in the UK. Supergirl starring Millie Alcock flies into theaters June 26th of 2026. So if this is the case, it's going to get 6 months less time to produce than Superman is going to. So they're going to film this very quickly and get it out there a lot faster than, like I said, Superman has to be amazing with the amount of time they have to work on it. And I think I grabbed a quote from James Gunn that's going to show you that there is going to be no excuse for the look of the film if it does not look top-notch. I thought this was pretty cool. Jay Oliva posted this. And he said, finally saw this animated, and he's talking about the movie Nightwing versus Deathstroke. Well, the movie was Teen Titans The Judas Contract, which is actually a good movie. And it was the Nightwing versus Deathstroke scene. And he said, finally saw this animated. This was the last storyboard I did for Warner Brothers. Some early hints of what I was going to do with Batman versus Deathstroke on Ben's Batman film. Pretty cool stuff, especially if you haven't checked that out. It's just too bad we never got that film. Like I said, we were robbed. This was some big news. I almost did a whole video on this alone, but I took the weekend off. My wife had her birthday this weekend, and we were busy doing all kinds of stuff, and I didn't have time to put a video out. But it says, S&P puts Warner Brothers Discovery on negative credit watch. This is bad, guys. It is worse than they had expected. I did a video about this previously where some creditors expected them to be in the watch category and to actually recover from that, but instead they've gone into a negative credit watch, which is going to make it a lot harder for them to get funding for the things that they want to produce. And if they don't have something big turn this company around, it is going to continue to sink. There's no confidence in the leadership with David Zaslav at this stage. James Gunn posted this. He teases the appearance of Argus in Peacemaker Season 2. In the DC Universe, Argus is a secret government agency that deals with superhuman activities and national security threats. And so he posted this logo right on his Threads account, and it does coincide with the Argus. It's just, you can see it's backwards. Right, so this was the big thing that I wanted to talk about, this, and also with, Michael Keaton and the whole Batman situation. But this is what James Gunn said about doing Elseworlds projects. I'm going to tell you what this actually means. He said the bar for an Elseworlds tale is going to be higher than the bar for something in the DCU. It's got to be something really special for us to tell that story outside of our regular continuity and to spend the money on it to make it. James Gunn on Elseworld Films. What does this mean? Translation, we don't have money, and I don't want anything outside my projects to be greenlit. That's plain and simple. I told you guys from day one, and every time something happens, it points to what I've been saying forever. Gunn is all about James Gunn. It's all about him. It's all about his DCU. And this tells me that the DCU projects are going to be just kind of throwing them together to get them out there. He's playing in a sandbox that's his own. It's not going to be necessarily what the fans want. It's not going to be what the general audience wants. It's what James Gunn wants. And that's evident with Creature Commandos, because nobody knew prior to Creature Commandos coming out, and I'm a DC guy. I'd never heard of him. That's James Gunn. It's what he does. I definitely think this is ridiculous at this stage, but it says Sean Gunn will appear as Maxwell Lord in Superman. He said, I can't say that much other than we did talk about relevant materials, and we discussed the character in detail before I dove in. He's throwing everybody in this movie, guys. And it's ridiculous the amount of characters that are going to be in this film. And it just amazes me that people are praising him, telling him, oh, it's already an established universe. But when Zack Snyder did this with Batman vs. Superman, he was just absolutely eviscerated for it. But this is far worse. This has so many characters in it. It's like Black Adam combined with Man of Steel, combined with, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what we're kind of getting here. And I don't know. The more I hear about this, the more this is just going to be a watered-down version of Superman. All right, so here was the big news this morning. Michael Keaton is on the circuit because he has Beetlejuice 2 coming out. And I will be reviewing that the night it gets released. My family and I are going to go see it, and I will have my review up for it. But it says Michael Keaton did not care that Warner Brothers canceled Batgirl for tax write-off. And that's not how I read this, but this is what he said. No, I didn't care one way or another. Big, fun, nice check. Okay, and that comes from GQ. That's through an interview. Now, first of all, they shouldn't be asking him about this. I think it's a little disrespectful when he's out there trying to promote Beetlejuice. Instead, they're asking him about this, and I could tell you that I am considered a professional actor with what I do, and anytime I do a project that doesn't see the light of day, yeah, it hurts. Even though he's saying this, yeah, it's nice to get paid for something, and you might have a lot of fun doing it, but if nobody ever gets to see it, it's disappointing. Him saying this is more, he's being coy or a little bit playful here, or it's a snide remark. It's one of those, but I guarantee you he does care. Now, this was also some news that just came out. It says, update, it's not so righteous after all. Danny McBride, John Carcieri, and Jeff Fradley will no longer write Booster Gold. McBride may still be involved down the line in some capacity. So all this is going to do is this is going to push Booster Gold back. And I don't know what the point is, what caused this. But if you know Booster Gold and who they cast as that character, it might have gotten enough people riled up that they just don't want to be a part of it anymore. But who knows? We'll see. But this is definitely going to be pushed back. That is for sure. Now, you can call this is just bizarre. And this is coming from Deadline. Halle Berry is leaving the door open to reprising her Catwoman role, which she portrayed in the 2004 film directed by Putoff. Maybe, if I could direct it, Berry told Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show after the host asked her if she would reprise the superhero role. Berry said she loved it and recalled critics panned the film. Again, I think she's just being playful. I don't know why. I've never even seen this movie. I've never had a desire to see it. It had nothing to do with the DC Universe. This is kind of the way the Joker thing is. I look at the Joker movies the same way. I really enjoyed the first Joker. I'm not excited for the second one, but I am going to go see it. It just has nothing to do with Batman, and you do these offshoot characters, but you don't do the main characters. It was just weird. It was just weird. All right, guys, so there you have it. All the DC news that came out since I posted my last video. I'll continue to bring you the DC news. I'm going to be reading more of the current storyline that's going on that's leading to a big event with DC coming up too. So if you guys want me to talk more about those current storylines, let me know and I can start covering some of that stuff. Because I actually do read comics, guys. I was actually surprised to find out some other channels aren't actually reading comics. And if you're going to talk about comic book stuff, I do think it is you should be reading comics. If you're going to talk on the subject, you should know a little bit about it. It's not just about the movies themselves. And so I am a true DC fan, and there's just no question about it. I have been reading Batman specifically since 1987. So I am very familiar with the DC world. And it's, for the first time in years, I'm actually excited for what DC has coming up. All right, guys, so there's my update for the day. Again, I appreciate all the support. If you haven't already, take a minute to like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we will see you on the next video.